that money being dispersed at the right time. So let me go back to the properties, and you found the ones, there's one wholesaler. Were you scrolling through and spending days, nights, and weekends looking at properties all the time to narrow it down? Or was it just like this one popped up and you grabbed it? Like, what was sort of the fallout and the work and time to find properties?
Yeah, so I looked on MLS a lot, and the problem that was happening in quarantine, because inventories, was slim,
Right.
that as soon as something came up, it was gone, or you were overbidding for a lot of property.
Yeah.
And I refused to overpay. At the time, I thought I wanted to stay on the streak of flipping, but it was impossible because the properties were being sold at such a high cost. There was really the margin was so small in between. It just didn't make sense to flip, from 2020 up until now, unless you were lucky enough to find a really great deal. But I searched. I mean, I looked at so many properties over the course of this past year and a half. So I just wasn't having any luck, and I decided, well, I didn't want to stop, just because I couldn't flip. Holding was, just as good, and I can do that until the time is right. Then I will go back to flipping. So I found the property through a wholesale. No, I just got an email from one of the wholesalers, and I was okay. Well, this one looks good. The price is right. It's 2 units because I only want to do multis at this point. And I put an offer, and they accepted.
Wow, unbelievable. And so that one was a large amount of work. That contractor came in.
Fully gutted.
The whole,
Yes, and I think you remember this one, Josh, when I bought it. They didn't want you to look at the property again. Once they showed you property one day, that was it. You couldn't go back in the property. And then, luckily, it worked out well for me in the end. But when the day that I went after the closing, I got the keys and I went to the property, the man was still living upstairs on the 2nd floor. I was like, oh my God, this can't be.
So run me through. I remember the day. I remember the call. I remember us talking about it. I was like, oh, that's not good. You don't want a person in there if that's the plan. So what happened there? This is an interesting story for people.
My gosh.
We do get these calls. So the 2 things we get a lot of people calling saying they won't let me see it at all, which is definitely a challenge in the market, or they won't let me do a final walkthrough, which is also not so great. And so you walk in, you close, the loan is closed. You own this place now, and you have the keys. You walk in, and there's a dude living there. So just quickly,
Yes.
So what happened, and how did it get resolved?
So I said, I'm the owner. He said, oh, well, they told me I didn't have to leave. And I said, well, actually, I thought that you were already gone. And the house was still full. All his things were still there. I mean, so now I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because obviously he could just say, I'm not leaving, and just squat and just stay here. And I have to do the process.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I called Josh, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I did, I was going to have to hold the wholesalers, liable if I had to pay to get him out. But I was willing to just pay to move all his stuff out to wherever he wanted to go, because it was cheaper for me to give him $2,000 to go sit and wait, and waste my time. Because to me, every day that that the property is not touched.
I remember we talked about it. Throw some money at it. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yep. So, but thankful, he got his son to come help him, and he moved out. And he left, and I changed the locks on the door immediately, and that was that.
I gotta say,
I literally went at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You have some really good luck. I got to be honest, because listen. We have over 300 loans out, right? And not many of them in those situations do not go that way. They are really bad. They try cash for keys or cash for getting out, and it doesn't work. And then the lawyers get involved. We have another person who I'm thinking off the top of my head. I spoke to her not that long ago, and she was like, I don't know what to do. These people will not leave. We've gone to court, and the judge is siding with them. They're just straight up squatters, right? So the people aren't paying, won't leave, and it's been months and months. Can't get in there, can't do anything. It's paying a mortgage on it. Like it's awful. So you were so lucky, and it's so great to be able to throw some money at it. And that is really the best advice I can ever give anyone. And keep throwing money at it. Keep going higher, because if you do the math on holding it, so this one person has held it for, it's probably been at least 4 months, mortgage, taxes, insurance, loss of income, loss of progress.
You have to keep the water on. You have to keep everything on in the house.
Yeah, you're required to. So total nightmare. So he got out, got the contractor in, renovated this place. How long did that take?
So actually, I'm refinancing with you guys right now as we speak. I'm in the process. So it has been Well, I will say this. The parts where I've lost, but it was expected. The contract's supposed to be done in October. It's February. So here we are.
Always. Yep.